1.
All right, we'll call the City Council regular meeting agenda for Monday, January 26, 2026, at 6:30 p.m. to order. If you will all join us as we stand, excuse me, and have an invocation led by Mayor Pro Tem Byron, followed by the pledges by Councilmember Koza. All right, thank you for that. And moving forward in our agenda, roll call and certification of quorum. Madam Secretary, I'll certify we have a quorum present as all members are here and accounted for in the chamber. So good job, everyone. Before we move to citizens' comments, we've got a couple. We're going to take a point of personal privilege real quick. Obviously, a little cold weather. I think we dodged a bullet this weekend. Could have been far worse had we had more moisture. But Captain Ibarra here was our incident commander. He's going to give us a brief update and report on what happened here in our city, the storm prep, and where we are. Won't be any discussion by council because it's not on the agenda, but we can receive a report. Captain Ibarra.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. If I talk too much, Mayor, make sure you tell me to stop here. But thank you for having me here. I'm just going to give you a quick debrief on Winter Storm Fern. Kind of give you a little timeline, some key decisions that went into this operation. What I can tell you is that on Wednesday, I received a call from Assistant City Manager Randall. Usually when a city manager calls you, it's not good news, and there's probably some additional work that's coming with that. So he called me, told me that I was going to be the incident commander for this operation for the winter storm coming our way. I was a little nervous because I've never actually served in this particular role, but I was up for the challenge. I have, over the last 10 years, been part of pretty much every activation, storm-related event on the operational side, but really never on the incident commander side. So I was nervous, but confident that I could up for the challenge. With that being said, on Wednesday evening around that time, the preparation to get ready for the storm started. One of the first tasks that I had was formulating an incident management team. So one of the things that I did was look at our city personnel, then looked at for technical expertise, experience, and making sure I can identify the right people that could work under pressure and stress. So I formed that team on Wednesday evening. For the most part, I had everybody identified. By that evening or Thursday morning, immediately we went to work. We ended up making sure that our public works and our utility team went out there, winterized. Well, let me back up a little bit. One thing that I did learn before I started is that I know the council and the mayor and city staff have made a lot of investment when it comes to emergency management, making sure that our facilities, our water, sewer, and our public infrastructure is updated and ready for any weather-related event. I can tell you with high confidence that that investment has paid off. I mean, it really made the staff and myself, our job, much easier. And we were ready, honestly, to go for this event by Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon. That's how prepared we were. But on Thursday, we started making sure that our public works and utilities, all winterization efforts were underway. By that afternoon, all our wastewater, water, lift stations, all that was ready. We also made sure that our facilities, our generators were working, they had fuel, and they were tested to make sure. We also, I know the rec center, that particular generator wasn't working, but we were able to fix that by Friday evening into early Saturday morning. But all facilities were tested, make sure they were ready for the event. We also made sure that we had our fuel pumps were operational. We made sure we coordinated with our contractors to make sure that all critical contractors were on standby to deliver fuel, electrical, plumbing, anything that we needed in case it went down. We were able to make sure we got that back up and running. We also started our communication, external communications with the public, using the 4 Ps, obviously, pets, plants, people, pipes. There were several educational videos that were also made that was sent out via social media and also our website. And also we made sure that we sent a text message to our steer registrants to make sure that they knew that a winter event was coming our way. I know by Thursday afternoon, we also had a declaration that was already drafted and signed by the mayor on Friday morning. And then we make sure we had enough staffing identified for police, fire, public works, and utilities on standby, ready to be activated if we got to that point. By Friday through Sunday, for the most part, we're on standby, monitoring the weather briefings. We had 2 weather briefings each day. There was a meeting with the policy group every day. Our personnel were on standby, and we made sure that we stage barricades on Magnolia, Bailey, and McCard in case those needed to be deployed either Saturday or Sunday. By Sunday, there was another weather briefing in the morning. We met with the policy group, and then we demobilized on Sunday at 6 p.m. I know one of the questions that might come up is what was driving the decision when it came to whether we open today or remain closed. I can tell you it was pretty much 4 variables. That was safety, service, weather data, and make sure, and field observations. So what did we see out in the field? And everything pointed out that we could remain open today, and that's how the decision was made to stay open today, and I think that was the right decision. Like I said, I think what I learned from this event is that as a city, we're ready. The investments have paid off. And while I was the incident commander, there's no doubt that anybody on the team, we have some very, very talented people that they can serve as an incident commander at any time. So it's something that we should be proud of as a city. Hope I answered all your questions. If you're not, please forward any concerns or questions to city leadership, and they'll get it to me.
Very good. Captain Barr, thank you for accepting and stepping in that role. Thank you to all of our staff who worked diligently to make sure that we were ready for this. There's a lot of blue sky effort that gets everything ready that people don't see. And most importantly, you know, we sidestepped what could have been worse. The fact that it didn't push through until last night allowed everything to dry up. So that was a good news and a win for our community. So all in all, great job by everybody.
Mayor, if I may, I just want to say thank you to Captain Ibarra. You did a great job leading us through this. And while we had our readiness stance there, and the investments we made in the past definitely are paying off. You know, nothing happened this time, but it is an opportunity to exercise our emergency response muscles and make sure we're ready for the next one.
Right.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. All right, with that, we'll move to citizens' comments. I believe we have just one for general comments, and then we have one under attached to a particular item. We'll call on them, one under general, one under the action item when we get to it. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Alejandro Barraza, make your way to the podium. Thank you for being here this evening. State your name once you get to the podium, and you've got 3 minutes.
Okay. My name is Alejandro Barraza, and I'm just here on behalf of the citizens. General comment in terms of flooding. I mean, I tried to bring it up last time. I asked several times who the floodplain manager in Pearland is and never got that answered. Did a little more research, and I just want to make the city council aware of something that's on their website, for the city council members to understand how far behind they are in terms of looking at flooding. Just last time, there was an answer to a question, what have we done in regards of flooding along Clear Lake? And their answer was nothing. So this is a quote directly from the website, and I don't know if it's alarming to you guys. For sure, it was alarming to me when I read it. But it says, some of our flood-prone areas are not shown in the flood map because it is due to local storm drainage problems. During heavy rain, slow drainage has been known to cause flooded roads, local ponding, and overflow ditches. Our worst and most frequent flooding occurs along Clear Creek, but other waterways also rise out of their banks and can flood homes. The last major flood in June of 2001 damaged more than 600 homes. A look back at our history of flooding indicates that the most likely period of flooding is during hurricane season from May to September, but it can happen anytime. So I don't know if you guys remember, there's been several flooding events since June of 2001. I think it's indicative of just a lack of, I don't know, looking at the problem, I guess, because it flooded in 2017, and then also 2020 with Tropical Storm Beta came. All Channel 11 News came and looked at it, and the people were crying on the news saying they really wished it wouldn't. They saw the Clear Creek overflooding. So it's not a small thing. The number one cause of flooding is industrialization, and especially massive projects. But in terms of general comments, just who is the floodplain manager inside of Pearland? Is that his sole responsibility? Does he have multiple responsibilities? It's just a major concern, I mean, I guess. But beyond that, when you go and look at the flooding areas, on the flood map, they have Clear Creek 288, Clear Creek and Macawa, Clear Creek and Pearland Parkway, Clear Creek and Country Drive Road, Clear Creek and FM 1959, and Mary's Creek and Winding Road. So obviously there's one major road missing that connects to Clear Creek, and that's 35 or Telephone Road. So I don't know. The previous quote said that it might be that the flooding there might be due to drainage issues, and that may be why it's not listed. So that's just a couple things for people to consider, especially when they take on massive projects.
Thank you for that. Mr. Barraza, I'm going to ask Lorenzo and Roz if y'all could step into the lobby real quick. We can give you about a 30-year history on what we've been doing with drainage for 30 years, as well as the number of projects that we've been doing along Clear Creek and the various tributaries that will rebut some of what you have to say. In addition to, and we're in the middle of a $181 million bond program as we speak to address localized flooding. So would y'all mind stepping out with him, just kind of give him the history of where we are with that. That way we can just give you education on where we are with taking all those. That'd be good. But you raise up a good question, and I appreciate you bringing that to our attention. Certainly it's something that we take seriously here. With that, we'll move, before we move forward, I do want to take another point of personal privilege. I see Darren Coker here tonight, sitting at the dais. This is Darren's last council meeting here in the city of Pearland. Here in the next day or two, he will complete 29 years. Is that correct? Right at 29 years of service with the city of Pearland. He started out as a assistant city attorney, and obviously became the city attorney shortly thereafter, and has been here all these years. I consider him the dean of city attorneys in the greater Houston area. He may be the dean across the state. We think very highly of him, and it's going to be different with him up here. We have named Lawrence Provins as his successor to follow in behind him. There is no other Darren Coker. You don't replace him. You just move on to someone else. And it's going to be a different time in our city without Darren Coker here. We're going to formally recognize him this Wednesday with staff and others in a retirement ceremony, but I wanted to take a few minutes to recognize him tonight.
And by the way, this is all news to me. I never knew this was happening, so I thought I would be coming to work next week, but apparently not. So.
And that's the Darren behind the scenes that we all love and know.
No, thank you for the kind words.
Yeah, and I don't see Chief Taylor here tonight, but Chief Taylor has put in his letter for retirement as well. He'll be retiring right here at the end of the month. We will have a ceremony for him this coming Friday. But he's brought much needed direction, leadership, guidance, and culture to our fire department, and he will be greatly missed as well. So, all right, and with that, we will move to consent agenda. Is any items to be removed? There's only two. So,
Mayor, can you, item B, please?
okay. So, with that, Mr. Koza, if you present consent agenda item A.
Certainly, Mayor. Consideration and possible action, consent agenda items A and B with the exception of item B. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavdia?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, item B, Mr. Koza, if you would place that on the table, please.
Yes, Mayor. Consideration and possible action, resolution number R2026-24. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Quick staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. So this item is an interlocal agreement with Brazoria County to share a cost share in the design and construction of a traffic signal at the County Road 48 or Kingsley Drive intersection with Southern Trails Drive. So this is an intersection where kind of both sides of County Road 48 are in the city limits. The road itself is still in the county. So doing a 50-50 split on the cost of the design and construction of that traffic signal. We have started the design on that work, so it'll move forward and then be bid out and constructed as soon as we can get to that. So that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, Mr. Patel.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank the city on this, especially Commissioner Stacey Adams and Lender for stepping up. This was, you and I learned how complicated this section was. The road belongs to the county and the edging property belonged to the city. And this is a community that's seen a lot of accidents at this corner. Firsthand, I've seen it, and my wife has also. And so I just want to thank you, and that's why I wanted to pull this. So thank you so much for taking care of this. And the residents there, thank you as well.
Yeah, good deal. Much needed. It'll be good when it gets built. Obviously, design, we still have some time to go to get that done. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavdia?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, with that, we will move to public hearing number one. So public hearing number one and new business item number one is going to be moved to a future agenda. The folks that applied for that are in Dallas, and obviously with the weather that we had today, they could not make it here, so they requested us to move that. Chances are it'll be on the second meeting in February. Is that right, Katya?
That's correct, Mayor.
Because we've got to re-notify the people around it, those types of things. So we will see that next month. With that, we'll move to public hearing number two. With that, move right into staff report. Katya, if you will do that and the reason, read into the record the reason for the public hearing, and then move into your staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. This is a request by Billy C., applicant on behalf of Antioch Houston Church owners for approval of a conditional use permit, church use within the office. Thank you. Excuse me. Within the office professional district on approximately 4.190 acres located at 3801 Liberty Drive. The applicant is proposing to open a church within an existing building that is approximately 30,000 square feet. At the January 13th, 2026 Planning and Zoning Commission, there was one speaker in opposition to the request, but other than that, we have not received any other comments. Public notices were sent to all property owners within 200 feet, and a notification sign was placed on the property by the applicant. On the right side of the screen is an aerial view of the property. You can see single-family residential, a daycare, Mary's Creek, and a city park surrounding the area. On the future land use map, this property is located within the traditional residential place type, in addition to the natural areas place type. On the screen right now is a site plan provided by the applicant as well as the survey. You can see the existing building as well as a proposed driveway, parking, and additional landscaping. Staff's analysis is that the proposed conditional use permit meets the established criteria approval for a conditional use permit. The proposed use is consistent with the policies of the comprehensive plan and thoroughfare plan and surrounding uses. And with that, staff recommends approval of the conditional use permit. At the January 13th, 2026 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, the P&Z voted 4-0 to recommend approval of the request. And that concludes staff report. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you for that. I see the applicant present. Do you have a presentation or just here to answer questions? Sounds good. If we have questions, we'll have you come up, introduce you, and go through all that. Moving to the public phase of this, those wishing to speak for or against this proposed request can go to the podium, give us your name and your name, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Second attempt, those wishing to speak for or against this proposed request. Third and final time, those wishing to speak for or against this proposed request. Seeing no one move in that direction, we'll move it to questions, comments, concerns from City Council. Real quick, all of that property has been kind of split up down there over time. So, two-story building that's out front, this is going behind, or it's turning that building into a church. That's correct. Interesting. This used to all be one lot. And the building next door to that, if you can see on the right, was a church. So there has been a church at this location for many, many, many years. I wish I could go back in my memory and pull the name of the church. Darren, do you remember the name of it? Yeah, but the building next door to it was a church, Grace Family Church. There you go. So there has been a church in this location for many, many years. So I just want to make everyone aware. It's just gone through different ownership and different changes over the decades, and so it seems like we're going back full circle. With that, I'll open it to questions, comments, concerns from council. Mr. Koza.
Thank you, Mayor. Could the applicant walk to the podium, please? Thank you for being here this evening.
Sir.
During the P&Z meeting, there was one resident, I think his name was Mr. Verland, that did have some issues with the previous church, and it centered around, I guess, the noise that came from the service or prior to the service. I don't know exactly what, he didn't get into detail. He just said that on Sunday mornings was his time to sleep in, and had issues with that. I know that you addressed some of those issues there at the P&Z meeting. And with that being said, you didn't have your sound guy there. Is he currently here this evening?
No, sir.
Were y'all?
My general contractor is. He can speak on that as well.
Okay. Were y'all able to work anything out with Mr. Verland, or?
We had a fantastic discussion. And
Billy, real quick, just for the record, give us your name for the record.
My name is Billy C. I'm with Antioch Community Church, Antioch Houston Community Church. And yeah, we had a fantastic discussion. I don't know if you remember, but by the end of the meeting, he was on board and offering me help with acoustic treatment for the property. And we assured him, we're completely remodeling the inside of that building. Right now, it's a gymnasium. And if you've ever dropped your kids off at basketball practice, you hear the balls bouncing like out in the yard or in the field or in the parking lot way out there. And so that would not work for a church service. I actually visited that church, that building when there was a church meeting in the large building called One Living, One Life. I can't remember the name exactly, but their drum set was not in a cage. It was just exposed, and there's just a thin layer of metal between the outside and the inside of that sanctuary. And so But he even gave me his sound guy's name, and we went out into the lobby and had a good visit for a while. And he dropped his protest at that time. So, but this is my general contractor, Ryan Stubbs with B&O Construction.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Stubbs, president of B&O Development and Construction. I think we're going to work on just turning up Jesus a little bit more and make sure Jesus is heard. But as far as the sound system goes, every beautiful church has dedicated sound stability to make sure that all instruments, singing, and everything like that are maintained within the four walls of the building. And I don't see it being any concern whatsoever, especially with what we have planned for the building. But we're going to keep Jesus number one.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I know there was some discussion at the P&Z meeting with staff in regards to ways to make sure that noise is limited so that we don't have an issue with the residents. With staff, is there anything that y'all would suggest that we might be able to help the residents in the area with that?
Borrowing from a different body of law that y'all are used to seeing, instead of sound, you have lighting that you talk about, and you have a photometric standard for lighting, and you say that it's not supposed to be beyond 1 candle foot beyond the property line. There is such a thing, and I apologize, I'm not a sound engineer or an engineer or anything of the sort. I think it's actually called sonometrics, sonar kind of type of thing, and they do the same exact thing as photometrics. The difficulty with that is they can submit a plan that shows that it shouldn't go beyond the property line, but there are sounds that you're expected to hear, you know, just like even in your own backyard, you would expect to hear from somebody else. And you don't want to create a burden on the church just because they're a church. So what you could suggest is that no amplified sound go beyond the property lines, if that's a condition that you wanted to consider instead of using sonometrics. And then, you know, if it's the voices, if it's people praising God, that would be fine. But if it's people praising God through a loudspeaker or through the music, and that goes beyond the property lines, that is something that could be enforced. And that's always going to be the difficulty, the enforcement standards, because of course, most churches happen on Sundays, and you don't have code enforcement staff available for that type of investigation. But I think that if you had an amplified sound that was beyond it, you could try to investigate that with the witness statements or whatever it might be, if that's what you needed to go. And I don't think we're going to have a problem based on today's pastor, but if it's tomorrow or if it turns into a different church, the building and the use is there, and you want something that you can enforce. That state law has a provision already that talks about the 85th percentile being sound exceeding a certain decibel level being something that you try to enforce, and officers try with that, and sometimes they're successful, but it depends on the type of sound that makes it really difficult to do that. So those are the standards that I'm familiar with, and I think that the amplified speaker would be the one that's easiest to prove if you needed to prove such a violation.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Good deal. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yeah. I had two quick questions just on your site plan. First of all, I think it's great. You guys have been in the community for a while over there in the Strip Center, so I'm excited to see y'all expand and create a footprint here in the community. And as you say, amplify Jesus. Go for it. My main question was, I didn't see anything where staff, have we reviewed that 66 parking spaces is going to be enough for a 30,000 square foot building?
There are 2 parking ratios for churches. It is 1 space for each 4 seats if there is fixed seating, and it is 1 space per 100 if there is not fixed seating. And so they will be required to meet the parking requirement if they decide to do the fixed seating or the not fixed
So
seating.
it's just a suggestion right now. We'll have a different site plan.
Correct.
You guys will have a different site plan when we get
Yes, sir.
further along.
Yes, sir.
And that probably is the same answer for my other question. I don't see anything on here in relation to detention,
Underground detention.
underground.
Yes, sir. is what we're going to propose, of course.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Any other questions, comments? Mr. Patel?
Thank you. I'll echo the parking because I know the school down the road, it backs that road up on Liberty, and on Sunday trying to turn in. So I'm assuming that you guys are buying this property or are you leasing it?
We have purchased that property as well as the two right below it, the Head Start preschool
Okay.
building, and then the 1.8 acres of raw land.
So the Head Start is, I guess, leasing it from you guys
Yes, sir.
now? Okay.
Yes,
So your plan is to keep them there, or are you guys going to?
Absolutely. We have a great relationship with them, and we're like-minded and wanting to help families struggling. And so,
I guess the parking lot in the back right now is going to be all connected and it's going to flow that way.
yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. And I guess you can use that Head Start's overflow parking, I'm assuming.
Yeah, yes, sir. They are required to have a certain amount of parking spots. I believe for that facility, it's 34 spots, and they have more than that right now.
Okay.
But there may be some events where there's some overflow with them as well as for us.
The only thing I would tell you, and I think it's great that you guys are repurposing, because this, I don't remember it being a church, but I remember it being a school.
Right.
Cardin Jackson, I remember that. The only thing I'll tell you is I don't want the residents to have impact on traffic on Liberty because it's so narrow. So I'd rather you guys focus on having additional parking. I'd rather you have more than less, and I'm sure you will outgrow this facility eventually. So that would be my only request, but congratulations.
Good. Yeah, it was Cardin Jackson in the big building, and it was the church in the smaller one. So, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you, Mayor. My only question that I have is, churches, some churches primarily provide services on the weekends. And then some churches, in addition to that, they focus on concerts. They focus on bigger events where they draw, larger crowds. Is that something that y'all plan on doing as far as the concerts in that building, or primarily more on the weekend services?
Well, we're having our 13th. We had our 13th anniversary last Sunday, and we've never had a concert, but we also have never had a building, and so I can't imagine we would have a concert of any kind. I mean, Sunday mornings is the closest that would come to that, or maybe like a young adult service midweek or something to that effect.
Okay, thank you.
We are sensitive to that parking lot as well. That's a pretty thin road. That's
Yeah.
also a pretty popular spot. And so we want to be a blessing to the community that we're moving into. If we were to ever leave that spot one day, we would not want there to be a party that we're leaving. We would want people to be sad. And so hopefully the way that we're designing this, even with the extra entrance, because that's a real issue with that daycare, especially drop off and pick up, there's a real backlog of cars right there. And so adding another entrance and some more parking in the background where the other vehicles can navigate should help with traffic even more so than it is currently now. So.
Well, I think y'all are the perfect people for this building, for this property. I think y'all are going to be mindful for the neighbors, echoing what Member Patel said regarding traffic. That's why I was asking about the concerts
Yes,
and
sir.
so forth.
Absolutely.
But thank you all so much.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Kate.
I just wanted to say I'm happy to see y'all moving into that spot. I think it's a really good use for that spot. On Saturdays at Independence Park, there's a lot of events. Y'all's services are on Sunday though. Is
Yes,
that okay? I just that's the only thing I wanted to bring up, I guess, is how busy Independence Park is sometimes on Saturdays. So.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes, ma'am.
excited.
Yes, ma'am. And I actually heard that parking lot is during events, the Christmas event and the 4th of July event, that field behind is loaded with cars, which I didn't know they could park in that grass, but I understand that dynamic as well. And we want to make sure that we want to add to those events and participate with them as best as we can, whatever that looks like.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that event, cars are parked everywhere
Yes.
within a mile radius of
Yes. Yeah.
going down. Last call, questions, comments? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing portion and move to new business item number 2. Mr. Carbone, would you present that, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration and possible action, Resolution R 2025-CP 2025-0370. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We've had staff report, opportunity for questions, comments, as well as staff applicant interaction. Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavdia?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Welcome to the city, folks. Well, I know you've been here. Welcome to our neighborhood.
Location.
Right down the street here. All right, with that, we'll move to public hearing number 3. Katya, are you presenting as well? You can move right in.
Yes, Mayor, thank you.
Okay.
This is a request by the City of Pearland applicant for approval of proposed amendments to the Unified Development Code, UDC, ordinance number 2000T in accordance with section 1.1.4.1 of the Unified Development Code to include 1. Amendments to Chapter 2, Section 2.5.2.1 and 2.5.2.2 to include short-term rental in the residential land use matrix and the non-residential land use matrix. 2. Amendment to Chapter 5, Section 5.1.1.1A 229 to revise the definition of family. 3. Amendment to Chapter 5, Section 5.1.1.1A to define short-term rental. At the direction of City Council, the following amendments to the Unified Development Code are being proposed. Adjusting the definition of family, adding a definition for short-term rental, and including short-term rentals in both the residential and non-residential land use matrices. Short-term rentals are currently defined and authorized through ordinance number 1611, and currently there are 19 active short-term rental listings within the City of Pearland. Public notice was posted in the Pearland News Reporter on December 17th, 2025, and we have received no written comments and no phone calls regarding the amendments. The amendment to the definitions of family and short-term rental are on the screen. The strike-through is the revision, and the red text is the addition. So family is defined as a family is an individual or any number of persons related by blood or marriage, or not more than 3 unrelated persons living as a single housekeeping unit, and short-term rental is proposed to be defined as a residential dwelling unit or bedrooms in a residential dwelling unit that is rented out for compensation on a temporary basis for a period of less than 30 consecutive days. Proposed on the screen is the Chapter 2, Article 5, Section 2.5.2.1, the residential land use matrix, and the non-residential land use matrix. The letter P indicates permitted use, and the blank indicates prohibited. There is no recommendation being provided by staff at this time for the amendment, and P&Z, Planning and Zoning Commission, recommended approval at their January 13th, 2026 meeting with a vote of 4-0. And that concludes staff report. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Since the city is also the applicant, we will move beyond the applicant's report, moving to those wishing to speak for or against this proposed request. Go to the podium, give us your name. You have 3 minutes to speak. Second attempt, those wishing to speak for or against this proposed request. Third and final time, those wishing to speak for or against this proposed request. Seeing no one move in that direction, we'll move to questions, comments, concerns from City Council. Ms. Chavarria, go to you first.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you so much for your report. Can staff clarify how room rentals are handled under this ordinance, like a residential home renting rooms?
So that would fall under the definition of family. And if there was an allegation that, say, there were more than 4, currently, if there were more than 4 unrelated people living in the same structure, that would be considered a code violation. And while we have discussed in the past how difficult that is to enforce, this would change that from allegations of 4 people down to 3. And then we would just do the best we could to prove up that there are more than the allowed number of people living there that are unrelated.
So, currently in Pearland, we have residential homes that are renting their rooms, not to family. So does that mean code enforcement, we have to provide information, the citizens need to provide this information to code enforcement so that you can go out and enforce?
I'm not familiar with that direction as far as people providing that and like a rental, permitting rental properties. However, like I've said, it is very difficult to regulate. This just moves that limit down to what people in town should be renting and the number of unrelated people in a residential structure.
Thank you.
Mayor.
Ms. Kate?
I asked about the definition of family, and I got my answer that it was sort of set by the courts, if you will. And I'm wondering, is short-term rental the same? Is the definition also something we can't change or do anything about?
Short-term rental is set by.
I don't want to steal your thunder. It's your last meeting, man. Short-term rentals have been litigated throughout the state, and I think that this definition that we've provided is going to be consistent with how the cases are interpreting what is a short-term rental.
Mr. Koza?
Thank you, Mayor. So my question is, we have currently 19 STRs, is that correct?
That's correct.
And with the permitted and prohibited uses in the different zoning, those 19 will be grandfathered in, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And so anything moving forward would have to be in one of these columns where it has a P from CMU to GC.
That's correct, Mr. Koza.
Okay. Thank you. Just wanted.
And to follow up on that, so if we have a current one, they've got their license, part of the bad boy language, they do something, they lose their permit from the city, they would then fall under, their grandfathering status would be over, correct?
That's correct. In addition, if they allow their permit to lapse or they fail to renew, that permit would also not be permitted to be renewed if it had lapsed.
Okay.
So,
A little extra teeth on
yeah,
it.
yeah. So the 19 are there as long as they continue to be good citizens and continue.
Any other questions? Oh, Ms. Kate?
So the short-term rental, it says no less than 30 days. We can't change that to no less than 10 days or anything like, we can't.
The definition.
Less than it.
Correct. That provision actually stems from the hotel occupancy tax section, where it talks about anything more than 30 days is an issue. It's no longer considered a short-term issue, it's a long-term. And I believe that there have been some people who have, I'm not the research guru on this, so I apologize, but I think that there have been some who have tried to knock it down to 10 days. And I believe that the courts have said that was not acceptable.
As this is not a hotel, how?
Well, although it's not a hotel, it does fit within the definition of where you can collect hotel occupancy taxes. It fits within that definition.
Mr. Patel? You good? Okay. Last call for questions. Seeing none, we will move to new business item we'll close this public hearing and move to new business item number 3. Chavaree, would you present that one, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Consideration possible action, first reading of ordinance number UDC 200T-41, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. We've had staff report as well as question comments from council. Madam Secretary, we'll call for the vote.
Member Chavadilla?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right. Real quick, if someone could go get Mr. Barraza back in. He was signed up to speak to this next one. We'll get him. We got him. Mr. Byram, if you would present item number 4, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Consideration and possible action, second and final reading of ordinance number 2000M-277. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. We do have someone who signed up to speak to this. If Mayor Pro Tem, if you would present that, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Barraza, You are up again. You
Yeah.
have another 3 minutes, and thank you for being here.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Alejandro Barraza. Last time I said that the money is the root of all evil. It's actually the love of money is the root of all evil. I'm not here to say against or for anything. I just don't want the city council members to sin against the people that they're supposed to protect. I mean, I'm out there talking. I don't understand everything. I'm not fit for that type of purpose. I just know general trends. Industrialization causes flooding. They're trying to explain to me right now the detention. I just don't want my neighbors to be flooded. That's my main thing. Last time, the only person who prayed was the only person who said no. I know that there is a project that's being built, right? It's going to finish in 2028. I mean, I don't know. I would say if they really are, that's a good place. There's many people that make purchases. Louis Bell-Bottom or whatever, he had that. Bell-Bottom company had that place for like 20 years. He wasn't able to build. Be nice if they waited until the Clear Creek was good, but I can't say anything. I'm not here to demand the city council do anything. I'm just asking them to consider their neighbors. The flooding isn't the only issue. That's just my primary concern. Obviously, it lowers property values. Hanover Company came and purchased the land. They've owned it for less than 2 months. The people that have owned that land have owned it for a while. People don't plan on moving. There were several questions asked, and if it was going to slide, if it was going to affect other properties by sliding down material into their land. They said that they hadn't run those tests. I'm not sure. There was another lady who said she works in the mornings. It's going to be loud for her. If there's a trailers going down to Knapp Road, there's a bunch of different things. I looked at, it's 93 pages now. I didn't read all of it. I saw that maybe they pushed it back a little bit from 120 to 160, and they plan on putting the sound wall. I can't say everything. All I'm saying is if it's the right project, there's nothing wrong with waiting. That's what I would say until the Clear Creek problem is fixed, but I can't decide that. I know if I were doing it, I have an obligation to Jesus to represent him. So that's all I can say. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even do it if people were saying, hey, we don't want you here. But that's not my call. That's you guys' call. So I just hope that you guys love your neighbors. We represent someone different. So we just got to make sure we represent him correctly. I hope it doesn't flood. I don't know. It doesn't really affect the people I love. It just affects my neighbors who I'm called to love. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you for that. We'll move to staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. Quick summary. The applicant's intent is to develop the site with 2 buildings with approximately 304,000 square feet of light industrial space with the associated parking and infrastructure. The proposed base zoning of this plan development is light industrial M1. As of today, we have received 52 written comments against the request with 13 speakers throughout the meetings. And this number is a total speaker and written comment to date and does not account for any duplicates. Staff's analysis is the proposed plan development meets 3 of the approved criteria to establish a PD, and many of the deviations proposed are to increase the standard rather than to reduce it, resulting in a higher level of design that wouldn't be possible through straight rezoning, and the PD restricts permitted uses and conditional uses. Staff's recommendation is for approval of the zoning change from general commercial to plan development. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted 6-0 to recommend approval with staff's 2 conditions. And then the City Council's first reading vote was 5-1. Additionally, I'd like to share that staff is recommending an additional condition on the screen with the number 1 reading, the applicant will enter into a development agreement with the City of Pearland within 90 days of January 26, 2026 for the reconstruction of Knapp Road. And that concludes staff report. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Open up for questions, comments from City Council. Okay.
This may be a question for Francis, but in here it says that there was a petition containing 50 signatures in opposition to the request, but it did not meet the threshold required to trigger a supermajority vote. What is the threshold?
Lawrence, you guys.
The simplest way to describe that is going to be 20% of the people within the 200 feet of the notification area.
It's 20% of the land area, is that correct?
Yes.
So it's the actual land, not the number of properties or number of people. It was about 16%. We added a map at the back
Yes,
back
sir.
end of the agenda request that shows that.
Any other questions, comments? Patel?
Is James here with Hanover?
Hello.
James, thank you for coming today. I was not here in the last meeting, and I know we exchanged some emails, and I do appreciate you taking my concerns regarding this development. I do hear the concerns of the residents, and I understand their fear for flooding. And I've taken some time, and what you have provided, and what you are doing is beyond what we could normally ask. And I guess I know we had I guess over 60 people against it and not a single one for it. But I think this council sees the potential value that you guys bring, and hopefully you guys are good developers to your neighbors. And what I would ask, I don't think this, just because you get the approval today, whether you get it or not, I think you will. What I would ask that when this construction starts, you still are engaged with the neighbors. What we do not want is the neighbors saying, once you got what you needed, you don't care for them and their noise level that's going to impact the residents who are behind there, right? And the traffic that's going to flow in and out of Knapp Road to get to those residential homes. So my personal request is that you please, your contractors are aware that there are people who are going to still be living behind there while you're under construction. Not just the fact that once you're developing everything to block the noise, building the 10-foot concrete wall, which I know is very expensive, and you're doing everything on the drainage side, but I think that 18 months that's going to take you to construct is really also very important. So my plea is that you please consider that in your meetings when you meet with your contractor. But I think, look, I get the residents' concerns, but I think this is a good project for that area. I think it fits for that site. And I think you have done a great job going beyond what was required on yours. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for taking the time, listening to the residents, but don't stop listening to them yet. They have a lot more to say for the next 18 months. I'm sure they will. And that's what I would ask, please. Thank you so much again.
Yes, thank you for the commentary. I would like to add, at Hanover, we do have our own general contractor that's under the Hanover umbrella. So we have a great degree of control over our contractor, which allows for very tight communication. We've had projects before where I take personal calls from the people that live around our projects, so I can quickly relay information. And we've worked before with people that live nearby to disseminate relevant information on a regular basis if that's something that they're interested in. So your point is well made, and we'll make efforts to act accordingly.
Good deal. Mr. Koza?
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to make sure on the additional recommendation from staff as far as the agreement on the reconstruction of Knapp Road, both from Matt and from the applicant. We're okay, both sides are in agreement where we need to be.
We are.
Yes, sir.
Now, was that a yes as well?
Yes, it was.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
I'll make a motion to amend to include staff's recommendation. Applicant will enter into a development agreement with the City of Pearland within 90 days of January 26, 2026 for the reconstruction of Knapp Road.
Second.
Tony stole my thunder, but I'll second him on it.
And just to clarify, that is a contingency for this approval?
Yes, sir.
We have an amending motion on the table. Is I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. I So we do have an amended motion, an amendment, a motion to amend on the table. Sorry about that. Any questions to the motion to amend? Mr. Patel?
Thank you, Mayor. Has that development agreement already, like the framework worked out, or?
Yeah.
It has. So, yeah, it's not, we're starting from scratch. Because I don't want you coming back here in 90 days and saying we need extensions, so.
It was something we began work on, I think, before the fourth quarter of last year.
Okay, so
been
I'm just
substantially
assuming it's just dotting the i's and crossing the t's at this point. Okay.
That's exactly right.
What's our expected time, meeting to have that on, Mr. Buchanan?
We expect to bring that to council in the first meeting in February.
Good deal. All right, Madam Secretary, we're going to vote on the motion to amend.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavia?
Aye.
Member Cade? Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
So now we have an amended motion on the table. Any last call for questions, comments? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, we will call for a vote. Second reading.
On the new business.
Second reading.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavia?
Aye.
Member Cade?
No.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
The motion passes 6-1.
All right, with that, we'll move to new business item number 5. Ms. Cade, would you present that, please?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Consideration and possible action, resolution number R 2026-3, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an engineering design contract to replace an undersized wastewater gravity line that runs along East Plum to Berry Rose Road and then to the Berry Rose wastewater treatment plant. This project's been identified in our wastewater master plan as far back as about 2008 and confirmed in subsequent plans that we need additional capacity in that line to eliminate surcharging within the system, which can lead to sanitary sewer overflows. So the ideal time is to move forward now alongside the Berry Rose plant expansion and with Freeze Nichols' involvement in that project as well as our wastewater master plan. We recommend they move forward with the engineering design on this project in the amount of a little bit over $1.2 million. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, open it up for questions, comments, concerns. Seeing none, Madam Secretary, we call for the vote.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavia?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, Mr. Fernandez, to you. Item number 6, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Consideration possible action, resolution number R 2026-4, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Staff report.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is to approve an engineering design contract for the replacement of the ground storage tank at the Cullen Water Plant, as well as some additional upgrades at that plant. The existing ground storage tank is a bolted galvanized steel tank, which is beyond its normal useful life and is currently leaking. It's been repaired over the years, so we've gotten as much life out of that as we can. The new tank will be a 1 million gallon pre-stressed concrete tank, which is our current standard, which will provide a much longer life and some added capacity for that plant. So we recommend award to Pape Dawson Engineers for $725,585. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Any questions, comments, concerns from council? Patel?
Are the engineers here today? Can you go to a podium real quick? Sorry.
And go ahead and give us your name for the record.
Sir, my name is John Lacey with Pape Dawson.
John, can you tell me, so I was trying to read the package we got. It didn't mention how long is this new tank's useful life. I know this current one, we had 10 to 15, but what's the new tank useful life?
Well, with the reinforced concrete tank, it's typically at least 20, 25 years. We've seen them exceed that, going up to 40 years of life. It really just depends. But it's typically quite a bit longer than a bolted tank, bolted steel.
And I have never seen your guys' name on any of our agenda, so please forgive me if you've been here. Is this like your specialty, like tanks? Is that what your company does?
Yes, sir. We were involved in the rehab of the FM 521 water plant, and so that was back when we were with Costello, and so Pate Dawson and Costello have merged. So we've done the work at FM 521. That was an extensive rehab at the plant where there was electrical modifications and adding a ground storage tank of the same type. So we're very qualified in this area.
And then I guess Trent, this may be a question for you. I think that your bid was like 375, but we're approving 725 because I think your engineering design bid was the base bid, and then I guess there's construction bids for review or something like that for 167,000 in that bid breakdown or something like that.
So this is professional services, so it's a negotiated contract. So we select based on qualifications. We don't get bids. So their basic services, which are their normal engineering services to design the project, are about 482,000. And then additional services, which typically include geotechnical work, survey work, and things like that, about 65,000. We got bid phase services, 13,000. That's to answer questions during the bid process, run that process for us, and then construction phase services, almost $164,000. So that's answering the questions. It's reviewing submittals and shop drawings and approving those things throughout that, attending construction meetings. And I think this one may also include some of the material testing. Did we confirm that? So it includes that as well. And that's the total for the 725. So it's all one package to deliver all the engineering services that you need throughout the construction project. And just to kind of clarify, the existing tank, we've had, I think it's approaching 25 years in service. And then we expect, yes, more like the 40 plus years on these concrete tanks, as long as we're recoating and maintaining them as we do.
And the cost to build a new tank was like $3 million. Is that right on the budget?
Yes, sir. That's
So
in the budget.
okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
Trent, is I see stuff about maintenance in here. Is maintenance on us? What kind of maintenance does this require?
So all of our ground storage tank require maintenance. So there's maintenance on the coatings, interior, exterior, so that those last as long as we expect them to. I think ones like this, we do have some mechanical equipment, mixers in them, so that requires maintenance as well. So those are probably the major things. Anything else to add, David? Or
Yes, with the concrete tank, there's considerably less maintenance. Sometimes you only need to drain it down and pressure wash it, but really there's no coatings or, with the bolted tanks, you've got gaskets and all these things that can start leaking. You don't have that with a concrete tank, so considerably less maintenance.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing no one moving in that direction, Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Fernandez,
Aye.
Member Patel,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram,
Aye.
Member Koza,
Aye.
Member Carbone, Member Chavadilla,
Aye.
Member Cade.
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, good for that. Moving forward, other business, there is none. Mayor, council issues for city council discussion, none submitted. We do have an executive session under Texas Government Code Section 551.074, deliberation regarding ratification of the city manager's appointment as an assistant city secretary. We will recess into exec session at 7:33. All right. Council has returned from exec session at 7:43. With that, we will move to new business item number 7. Mr. Carbone, would you present that, please?
Yep, thank you, Mayor. Make a motion to ratify the city manager's appointment of Assistant City Secretary, naming Michelle Perez to such position. So
We have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, call for the vote.
Member Carbone?
Aye.
Member Chavadilla?
Aye.
Member Cade?
Aye.
Member Fernandez?
Aye.
Member Patel?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Byram?
Aye.
Member Koza?
Aye.
The motion passes 7-0.
All right, sounds good. Moving to adjournment at 7:44.
Good job, everybody.